Good evening, I'm Norah O'Donnell, and we begin with new reporting tonight by CBS News. The highest priority of the President of the United States is the safety and security of the American people. As the Commander-in-Chief, presidents rely on their defense secretaries to carry out that solemn task. President-elect Donald Trump wanted a Fox News weekend host to hold that post, the 44-year-old combat veteran Pete Hegseth. But tonight, that nomination appears to be in peril. Hegseth is facing new allegations of sexual misconduct and excessive drinking. Tonight, CBS News has learned that Hegseth may not have the support of enough Republican senators to be confirmed for the job, meaning his nomination is in serious jeopardy. CBS's Nikole Killion leads off our coverage tonight with new reporting from Capitol Hill. Good evening, Nikole.
Good evening, Nora. Sources tell CBS News at least 4 Republican senators would likely withhold their support for Pete Hegseth if a confirmation vote were held today, although he and his team tell me they continue to go through the process to answer lawmakers' questions.
Defense Secretary-designate Pete Hegseth continued to make the rounds on Capitol Hill today, seeking support.
What is your message to senators while you're here?
I welcome their advice.
But top Republicans are now voicing concerns about the 44-year-old former Fox News host who was forced to step down as head of the nonprofit Concerned Veterans for America in 2016 after staffers accused him of financial mismanagement, sexual misconduct, and repeated intoxication. A lawyer for Hegseth has denied the allegations.
These allegations that have come up just in the last 12 to 14 hours are a surprise to all of us. And so, yes, he does need to address those because this was not something of which we were aware, nor was President Trump aware of them.
The president-elect's team was also not aware of all of the details surrounding a sexual assault allegation against Hegseth at a Monterey, California hotel in 2017. He has denied any wrongdoing and was not charged, but later paid the woman an undisclosed amount.
Did you brief the Trump team at all about any of the allegations against you, sir?
Today, Hegseth also declined to elaborate on a 2018 email that his mother sent him alleging his mistreatment of women. According to the email published by the New York Times, Hegseth's mother wrote, "You are an abuser of women. That is the ugly truth, and I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego."
Can you describe the relationship with your mother?
I love my mother.
Hegseth's mother later told the Times she wrote the email in anger and her words weren't true. But South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham today said Hegseth has a challenging road ahead.
Some of these articles are very disturbing. He, obviously has a chance to defend himself here, but, some of this stuff is going to be difficult. Leadership comes from the top, and I want to make sure that every young woman who joins the military feels respected and welcomed.
Tonight, we have learned that the Justice Department has signed an agreement with the Trump transition team to allow some potential nominees to undergo FBI background checks, which means that their personal and professional histories would be reviewed. Nora?
Nikole Killion with that new reporting from Capitol Hill. Nikole, thank you. Let's bring in our chief political analyst, John Dickerson. John, let's talk about the Defense Department. As you know, it's America's largest government agency. The Defense Secretary oversees some 3 million military and civilian employees. You're talking about a nearly $1 trillion budget. What is this process that's going on? Tell us about the growing doubts around Pete Hegseth.
Well, Norah, in preparation for our conversation, I talked to some former Pentagon officials, high-ranking officials, and they say obviously the character questions go to trust, and this is a job of extraordinary responsibility, but also this is a job that requires balance and restraint. But what they all focused on was just what the job requires. It's to give the president advice on using lethal force, and it's a complicated world. You've got wars in the Middle East, Ukraine, you've got China and Russia rising, and there are surprises like what's happening in South Korea. And then there's the fact that a Pentagon defense secretary has to think about 2050 as much as 2025. That means artificial intelligence, supercomputing, and warfare in space. Then Donald Trump is making a complex job even more so for his defense secretary by adding on possibly rounding up migrants. Also, he wants to take huge sections of Pentagon staff away, and he wants to rewire some U.S. alliances. So this is a very difficult job that Donald Trump is going to make even more complex.
It's a really important point. And then what about that new reporting about these potential FBI checks for those Trump nominations?
One is just logistical. It makes the transition easier. It means that people have gotten background checks so they can see sensitive information. As far as nomination goes, it makes it so that the information is not hearsay, but has actually been looked into. That might be good for some nominees, but some other nominees may not want G-men looking into their backgrounds.
All right, John Dickerson, thank you.